We always picture Mars as a freezing, barren wasteland, completely stripped of life-giving water and a breathable atmosphere. For billions of years, it has been locked in a state of death, covered in desolate deserts and scorched by lethal cosmic radiation. Yet, the Martian surface hides the ghosts of ancient seas and raging rivers, waterways that were far more violent and massive than anything we have on Earth today. And the deeper we dive into the mysterious history of the red planet, the more mind-blowing and shocking secrets it begins to reveal. This is Mars. And this is exactly how scientists believe it looked billions of years ago. Back then, a thick, heavy blanket of carbon dioxide trapped intense heat and kept liquid water flowing across the surface. Countless raging rivers carved the landscape, and a massive, deep ocean drowned almost the entire northern hemisphere. But suddenly, this watery paradise vanished, leaving only dry scars in the rocks. It is believed that Mars's weak, unstable magnetic field stood absolutely no chance against the brutal solar wind. Over hundreds of millions of years, the atmosphere was violently stripped away, while water vapor was ripped apart into hydrogen and oxygen. The lighter hydrogen rose to the upper atmosphere and bled out into the cold void of space. But what happened to the remaining oxygen? It reacted directly with the rocks, triggering a global chemical reaction that rusted the entire planet and buried it under endless red sand. Today, a thin layer of orange dust and permanently frozen ground are the only remnants of the vast oceans that once covered this red world. To truly understand what is happening inside Mars today, we have to look deep beneath its dusty surface. Thanks to the ultra-sensitive seismometers on board the InSight lander, which probed the internal structure of this alien world, scientists have finally unlocked the secrets hidden deep within its depths. At the very center of Mars lies a colossal heavy core forged from iron, sulfur, and nickel. Its radius spans more than half the size of the entire planet, with temperatures burning between 1800 and 2000 Kelvin. Due to the crushing pressure, most of this core remains in a solid state, which is why it is completely unable to generate a stable, protective magnetic field. Surrounding the planet's core is a massive layer of molten mantle, stretching about 1,500 kilometers thick. Its composition is highly uneven and changes with depth. The deepest zones are packed with heavy metal oxides, while the upper regions consist of olivine and silicates. On the outside, the mantle is bounded by a colossal crust with an average depth estimated at around 50 kilometers. This is 5 to 10 times thicker than the oceanic crust of our own planet and easily rivals the thickness of Earth's continents. Intriguingly, the northern crust is made mostly of andesite, while the southern crust is basalt, suggesting the two halves of the planet actually formed at completely different times. Decades of intense observation have yielded hundreds of thousands of high-resolution images of the Martian surface. By stitching these images together, scientists have built an incredibly precise and detailed map of this alien world, packed with bizarre features. Some of these features are relatively small, while others stretch for thousands of kilometers and can even be seen from Earth using standard telescopes. One of the most spectacular and mysterious regions is Valles Marineris. This colossal system of interconnected canyons and chasms tears across the planet's equator for a staggering 4,500 kilometers. Its western edge cuts deep into the massive volcanic plateau of Tharsis, and our journey into this giant rift begins right near the center of this volcanic plain. It is right here that we find a truly unique and mysterious region, marked on maps as Noctis Labyrinthus, the Labyrinth of Night. This is a region of chaotic terrain that stretches for a mind-boggling 1,200 kilometers from west to east. Here, countless deep, sheer chasms repeatedly intersect, fracturing the planet's surface into a chaotic puzzle of giant, jagged blocks. The topmost layer is made of a fragile, lighter-colored sediment that has been heavily ravaged by relentless erosion, while the deep, underlying foundation consists of incredibly solid, impenetrable bedrock. Over the course of billions of years, the towering walls of these canyons collapsed in countless places, leaving behind a chaotic landscape of massive, devastating landslides. Scientists believe that this is the exact place where ancient rains, which once fell heavily upon the highland plateaus, gathered together and rushed down in violent, unstoppable torrents toward the east. Undeniable proof of this watery past can be seen in the deep scars of intense water erosion carved into the floors of most canyons, as well as in the beautifully layered structure of the cliffs and landslides. Even more shocking, advanced spectral analysis reveals that this entire region is packed with massive deposits of specific minerals that absolutely require liquid water to form, such as hematite, opal, and iron sulfates. Stunning satellite observations show that Noctis Labyrinthus is periodically blanketed by an incredibly thick, mysterious fog, making it one of the absolute wettest and most humid regions on the entire planet. It is believed that the moisture trapped deep within the Martian soil evaporates during the warmth of the day into the thin atmosphere, while the colossal towering walls of the canyons prevent this humid air from ever escaping. As the temperatures plunge dramatically at night, this water vapor condenses into microscopic crystals of ice, which slowly drift down to the surface, forming a ghostly, delicate layer of frost. As we push further to the east, the bizarre, tangled maze of Noctis Labyrinthus gradually merges into a colossal system of giant canyons that intersect in spectacular ways. Over billions of years, raging megafloods carved deep, violent channels into the Martian crust, while relentless winds and massive sandstorms slowly eroded their sheer cliffs. But no matter which path we choose to follow, it will ultimately lead us to the monstrous Coprates Chasma. This is where scientists have recorded the absolute deepest abyss in the entire Valles Marineris. This terrifying abyss plunges down a staggering 11 kilometers below the level of the surrounding high plateaus. Mind-blowing scientific calculations suggest that in the ancient past, Coprates Chasma was actually a long, narrow freshwater lake, which, at its absolute peak, held a volume of water comparable to the Black Sea here on Earth. This incredible, mysterious region is widely considered to be one of the most promising targets for future space exploration missions. The soil at the bottom of the canyon could harbor the fossilized traces of ancient alien microbes, while the steep canyon walls literally preserve a priceless, untouched record of the planet's geological history. Traveling further down the canyon, we find that the steep cliffs gradually lose their dramatic slope, smoothly and gently transitioning into the vast, flat plains of the Crise Planitia region. Yet even here, the power of the ancient water element is clearly visible, leaving behind rounded terraces and teardrop-shaped islands that likely formed from sediment deposits flowing out of Valles Marineris. We can find almost identical geological formations right here on Earth, in the massive river deltas of the Amazon and the Nile. In this way, we have witnessed some of the most breathtaking and undeniable evidence that liquid water once flowed abundantly during the ancient epochs of Martian history. However, this titanic rift of Valles Marineris has only ever been studied from the safety of orbit. The wheels of a robotic rover have never once touched its mysterious surface. To get an even better look at the secrets of the Red Planet, we will have to journey far to the east. Flying several thousand kilometers over the hostile rocky deserts of Mars, we finally reach a massive impact crater known as Gale. Around 3.8 billion years ago, a colossal asteroid slammed into this very spot, leaving behind a deep, perfectly round basin spanning a whopping 154 kilometers in diameter. In the exact center of this crater rises Mount Sharp, a massive jagged peak built from layers of ancient sedimentary rock. In the distant past, this entire area was likely a vast, deep lake surrounding a central island. Today, Gale Crater is famous worldwide as the historic landing site of the legendary Curiosity rover. The incredible journey of this mission began nearly 11 years ago, when the autonomous Curiosity probe successfully touched down on the Martian surface on August 6, 2012, a true monument to human determination and our relentless thirst for knowledge. This daring mission was designed to unlock Mars's deepest secrets, its wild climate, rugged terrain, and the ultimate prize, hidden water and alien life. Almost immediately after touchdown, the robotic explorer uncovered shocking proof that this dry wasteland was once overflowing with water. The very first images beamed back to Earth revealed a massive ancient valley carved out by a violent rushing torrent. This spectacular region was named Peace Valles, meaning Valley of Peace, a breathtaking testament to the sheer power of ancient Martian rivers. From there, Curiosity pushed eastward, quickly reaching a mysterious windswept sandy hollow known as Rocknest. Here it snatched its very first soil sample, revealing a startling secret: the dirt contained 3% water. Without missing a beat, the rover pivoted southwest, plunging deeper into the alien wilderness. It battled across the brutal, rocky wasteland of Glenelg, where merciless winds have stripped away ancient sedimentary layers to expose volcanic basalt formed over 4 billion years ago. Climbing higher and higher up treacherous, rocky slopes, Curiosity finally reached the western edge of the colossal Bagnall Dunes, analyzing sedimentary rocks that are, geologically speaking, incredibly young. Escaping the sandy desert, the rover turned sharply south, beginning a long, grueling, and agonizing climb up the rugged slopes of a massive ridge known as Vera Rubin. Along the way, the sand and silicates beneath the rover's wheels suddenly gave way to hematite, a distinct iron oxide that can only form in the presence of liquid water. It turned out this entire mountain ridge was made almost entirely of this substance, proving beyond doubt that the climate here was once incredibly wet and active. Against all odds, Curiosity has survived on the red planet for over 3,000 days, shattering its original life expectancy by a staggering 5 times. Defying mechanical failures and brutal terrain, it rolled across nearly 30 kilometers of the harsh Martian surface, collecting 28 precious samples of alien soil. The rover's high-tech onboard labs detected not just water, but complex organic molecules like benzene and aromatic hydrocarbons, while its cameras beamed back thousands of spectacular photos and videos. Leaving this legendary, hard-working rover behind, we continue our journey, heading southwest to a place of sheer cosmic violence. Here lies Hellas Planitia, one of the most colossal impact craters in the entire solar system. Scientists believe that nearly 4 billion years ago, a monstrous asteroid measuring 50 kilometers wide slammed directly into the planet at a terrifying apocalyptic speed. The cataclysmic impact triggered a mind-boggling explosion, leaving behind a giant scar over 2,300 kilometers wide, while billions of tons of pulverized rock were blasted far beyond its borders. Some of these shattered fragments were launched straight into the vacuum of space, only to rain back down onto the Martian surface thousands of kilometers away from ground zero. Back then, Mars wasn't a dead desert. It was a warm, welcoming world, vastly different from the frozen hell we see today. This gargantuan, low-lying basin created by the impact quickly filled with liquid water, transforming into a colossal lake or even a massive landlocked inland sea. Over billions of years, this water evaporated, transforming the region into the staggering sight we see today, a massive gaping abyss plunging over 7 kilometers deep. At first glance, the basin floor looks perfectly smooth and flat, but that is a deadly illusion. In reality, the surface is ripped apart by jagged ridges and deep fractures, warped by the slow, powerful shifting of massive underground ice sheets. We see this exact same alien terrain right here on Earth, in the freezing, desolate permafrost of the Arctic. Because of this extreme depth, the atmospheric pressure here is nearly double the Martian average, triggering bizarre and violent weather anomalies found nowhere else on the planet. Imagine a ghostly alien fog mysteriously rising above a massive Martian crater, a bizarre phenomenon for this dry, dead world. Whipped up by violent winds, this eerie mist escapes into the thin atmosphere, vanishing into the freezing void or clinging to icy cliffs. During the brutal Martian winter, the entire Hellas Planitia basin gets coated in thick frost, shining so brilliantly it once fooled astronomers into thinking it was a massive highland. Only recently did we uncover its true shocking nature. Now, our journey ventures north, heading straight toward the legendary Gale Crater, an ancient basin that once held a colossal rushing lake. Fierce rivers, the Sava and the Neretva, once roared into this basin from the north and west. The scars of these massive ancient water systems are still carved deep into the Martian soil. We can still see their footprints today, dramatic layers of river sediment and massive erosion scars gouged into the canyon walls. This alien graveyard became the ultimate target for the Perseverance rover, which made its daring descent into Gale Crater on February 18, 2021. The original plan was a high-stakes landing near the Three Forks region, right in the Neretva River Valley. But Mars had other plans. Extreme weather violently pushed the rover nearly 2 kilometers off course, trapping it behind a treacherous, impassable sea of sand dunes known as Saita. That is when the legendary Ingenuity helicopter stepped up to save the day. Defying gravity, it soared into the thin Martian sky, capturing breathtaking panoramas of the ancient delta and snapping an incredible shot of the mysterious Kodiak Plateau miles away from the landing zone. Once Perseverance secured its footing, it embarked on a grueling, epic trek across this hostile wasteland to reach its target. It was the ultimate test of human ingenuity and machine endurance. Creeping along the dangerous edge of Sita, the rover paused to snatch precious soil samples. Meanwhile, Ingenuity kept conquering the skies, sending back stunning, never-before-seen views of the red planet. On Sol 168, the mission took a dramatic turn. The plan was to navigate the crater floor, bypass the deadly Saita dunes, and climb a rocky ridge leading straight to the delta. But the terrain was a nightmare, forcing the rover to make a desperate U-turn. Retracing its steps almost back to the landing site, Perseverance refused to give up. Bypassing the northern edge of the desert, it pushed relentlessly westward. Finally, after a grueling journey, the rover conquered the delta in April 2022, 413 Martian days after landing. By then, Perseverance had conquered over 18 kilometers of unforgiving Martian desert. It secured 15 priceless samples, beamed back over 166,000 breathtaking images, and gathered mountains of data. Even more mind-blowing, the MOXIE instrument successfully extracted 100 grams of breathable oxygen right out of the toxic Martian air. This historic breakthrough opens the door for future human colonization. At the same time, the rover's sensors detected mysterious Marsquakes, revealing the deep secrets of the planet's interior. And the Ingenuity helicopter shattered all expectations. Completing over 50 historic flights and covering over 8 kilometers, it proved once and for all that flight on other worlds is possible. Beyond the desolate sands and jagged rocks, Perseverance occasionally looks up, capturing the haunting beauty of the Martian night sky. Look closely at this tiny glowing white speck in the darkness. That is Deimos, one of the planet's most mysterious and elusive moons. Just recently, the Perseverance rover captured a mind-blowing event on camera, Phobos temporarily blotting out the sun in a dramatic eclipse. This rare, breathtaking celestial event wasn't just a visual spectacle. It handed astronomers crucial, unprecedented data about the Martian system. Unlike our own planet Earth, which has one large, beautiful moon, Mars is orbited by 2 bizarre, tiny, and incredibly misshapen cosmic bodies. Advanced spectral scans suggest Phobos and Deimos closely resemble carbon-rich asteroids, yet their true origin remains one of space science's greatest unsolved mysteries. One wild theory suggests they are the shattered remnants of a rogue celestial body captured by Martian gravity billions of years ago. The planet's brutal gravitational forces likely ripped that massive intruder apart, leaving Phobos and Deimos as the only surviving fragments today. Another shocking hypothesis points to a colossal collision between a giant protoplanet and a young Mars at the very dawn of our solar system. This violent ancient impact blasted debris high into orbit, where gravity slowly welded the pieces into these 2 strange moons. Phobos is the larger of the 2 siblings. It skims the Martian equator at a mere 6,000 kilometers, 64 times closer than our moon is to Earth. In fact, some of Earth's artificial communication satellites orbit up to 5 times higher than this natural Martian moon. Yet Phobos is so minuscule that even from this ultra-close range, it looks 3 times smaller than our moon does from Earth. Even more shocking is its density, averaging just 1.9 grams per cubic centimeter. This means up to 40% of Phobos could be completely hollow. It's likely a cosmic rubble pile barely held together by gravity. But it's doomed. Tidal forces are dragging Phobos down by nearly 2 meters every single century. In about 10 million years, Martian gravity will violently tear it to pieces. And 33 million years later, those remaining fragments will rain down in a catastrophic impact on the red planet. By that time, Mars will likely have lost its second companion, Deimos, as well. Currently, this mysterious celestial body orbits at 23,000 kilometers, but it is slowly and steadily drifting away into the void. Calculations reveal that in a few million years, Deimos will break free from Mars's gravitational grip and wander the cosmos entirely alone. Deimos is an incredibly dark, eerie world, swallowing nearly 93% of all the sunlight that hits its surface. Because it is so incredibly tiny, you couldn't see its shape with the naked eye from the Martian surface. It appears only as a brilliant, piercing star in the night sky. Its orbit creates a bizarre illusion, making it look like it's racing across the Martian sky toward Phobos. But that's just a trick of the eye. Both moons actually orbit in the exact same direction. Looking at the frozen, silent desert of Mars today, it's hard to believe that raging rivers once carved this landscape with a force that put Earth's rivers to shame. The vast, dusty expanses of the red planet are packed with mind-bending secrets, most of which we have barely begun to uncover. And while Mars might seem like a cold, dying world, human curiosity and our relentless thirst for knowledge are about to write a thrilling new chapter in its history.